You're welcome back to watching Business Morning on Sunrise Daily. Let's settle on that launch today, the beginning of PMS production in Dangote refinery, which seems to be, the much anticipated, much waited for. We're still waiting for the Port Harcourt refinery. They have promised that it will happen in September. So I guess if Dangote can fulfill its promise, then the government should be able to fulfill its own promise too, right? So we'll be counting down for Port Harcourt refinery. But now let's settle on Dangote, since it's that's the focus for now. We have Dumebi Oluwole, senior analyst of financial derivatives company. Dumebi, hi. Do I say congratulations to us, Nigeria? Hopefully, we're going to see a change in this, because a lot of filling stations, petrol stations, have not even been selling.
Yes.
Even the NNPCL, that was, just dry. I think since yesterday. But you still had some people, perhaps out of nowhere or nothing else to do. They were packed there. You still see long queues, even when they were not selling.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. It was very interesting to see. There were a lot of cars packed, and
the police station wasn't open.
Yeah.
So, we certainly are looking forward to the day when, even if, you talk to a lot of Nigerians, I tell you, even if they have to pay more, let there be supply.
Yes.
And then I can know what to do with myself.
Yes, when you look at it from the consumer angle, you do understand why people right now are like, at least we're already paying more for it, so let it just be available. And when you put it in the context of the current consumer basket, you realize that people are already paying so much for every other thing that's a necessity. From electricity tariffs are very high now, and then you even consider the fact that most people are now put on ban A, whether you like it or not, and then food prices as well are still
but
quite
even
high.
Being on ban A, does that give you the assurance you're going to get at least 20 hours of...
now that I'm on ban A, I can say that to an extent. The electricity supply has been quite good, quite optimal compared to what it was before. Obviously, more is leaving my pocket, but to an extent, the supply that we're getting is I would say it's worth it, right? And then when you consider other people that are also receiving the same amount and not having to maybe buy so much fuel, you can understand where the trade-off is. But for other people that are not, experiencing, and they have to move around, they have to commute to work, they consider food suppliers that have to get petrol to, bring food to the market, to the retail markets, then you understand why, even if on a household level, you might not be spending so much on fuel because you do have some level of electricity that's a bit stable. Because it is affecting other things in your consumer basket, it's having that detrimental impact. When you even look at the total labor productivity as well, you're commuting to work in the morning, or you're going to have to spend so much hours in traffic. Already part of your productivity that's supposed to give business output is already lost because you're spending so much in traffic. So there's a spillover effect from it.
So we'll talk to our correspondent in the Philippines right there, and we hope to get more info. Wasn't it interesting that we woke up on it was Sunday evening, we got that statement from NNPCL admitting, that they're actually owing. But I remember when this round of scarcity started, and we had analysts say they're owing suppliers. Of course, they did deny it. So I wonder what pushed them to come out. Is this a way of increasing NNPCL per liter?
I can't really say,
because they did say that it's supply costs.
Yes, but what we do know is we know what is causing it, and we now know that they've come clean. Right. So what exactly is causing these issues? We know that, number one, a lot of our crude is being caught up in crude swap agreements, and that has forced the NNPC to also have to pay some of this monies as well. Then you look at the exchange rate devaluation and how that has impacted their cost of servicing the debts that they already incurred. Right. And when you look at these two things, you realize that it's not necessarily, apart from the fact that there's oil involved and then there is the nation involved, you consider the fact that what is going on with NNPC is not too far-fetched from what is happening with other companies in Nigeria. The exchange rate devaluation we've seen it from financial statements that have been released, right? Where I would like us to point our minds to with this particular situation is that with the NNPC coming clean, what this does is that it creates some level of transparency where they are.
Does it really?
I'm getting there. So the reason why I say that is because yes, we have a lot of analysts that have said that this is, and I think I was part of those analysts that said we do know that there's a huge level of debt with the NNPC, and they took a while to come out to admit
Maybe
it.
they were calculating the figures.
But the truth is, now they have said it. So now we know where the problem is. This gives us an opportunity to analyze, dissect, and start solving the problem. That's where transparency with numbers.
What are the possible solutions to this?
So
already we have, refiners like Dangote having to import crude.
Yeah, I mean,
because a lot of our crude is still held up in paying
Exactly.
debt.
So the only solution is to extract more crude, is to produce more crude. And what exactly is making us not produce enough crude? We know
oil theft and all of that. But maybe just hold your thoughts. We see Olu is there. Hi, Olu, can you hear me? We see.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I see you want to talk to Mr. Aliko Dangote. Please go ahead. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay, this is what it is. History has been made today from the days when this whole ground was all water and got to the sand filling stages, the piling stages, and tons of engineering and fabrication going on this land. And remember, at some point on this land, this was the biggest industrial construction site in the whole world, with over close to 200 cranes working simultaneously. Today, what I have in my hand is premium motor spirit coming out from the Dangote refinery. History is being made today, and I'm standing with a man who incidentally has gone grey pursuing this dream, and I'm going to ask him how far he wants to travel after today's achievement. Alaji.
Thank you. Well, how far, there's no limit to how far, we're going to, as a human being, obviously we have ambitions, and I think our own is to make sure that we make our country and Africa proud. So the journey just started, and we'll continue, we'll start. The journey has just started today, you are right. Really, even 5-6 years ago, I don't really have gray hair, but right now, it's history. But we thank God, at least we've been able to deliver. So I can say that, it's a golden gray hair, which I believe it is worth it. And I'm a very, very happy person today. I must thank really, our great team, led by Ms. Edwin, for making this dream, possible. I must thank, also Mr. Aliko for giving that support to make sure that this...
And let me just interject and ask how much of support you're getting from the present government, and if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has thrown his weight behind what you're doing here today.
Well, I'm coming to that, so, and also to thank, my family, not only because some of them, they work with me, but because they've gone through tough times, by not seeing me, by not spending time with them. For being very, very understanding, my own friends that are around. But most of my appreciation will go to, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his government for giving us all the support. People can have different perceptions, but without the support of the government, we will not be here. That's what I keep saying. And I want to put on record that I want to thank the governor of Lagos, but he has done a marvelous job by giving us all the support. 10 years ago, there was almost nothing here. But this is what you call a dream. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then the governor of Lagos, dreamt about establishing this in about almost 18-20 years ago, and nobody thought about coming here. Actually, my first time here was just to come and look at the land. This was 2015. I've never ever been to this area of Lagos, but you can see what a dream can actually do. So I must thank him, and I pray and hope his own dream that, we used to, push Lagos up the ladder. Okay, he will apply 10 times that, on which I know he's trying. He will apply 10 times that in the federal government's operations.
Okay, let me just ask you quickly. This is PMS coming out from the Dangote refinery. You did promise us, you did tell me severally when we've been visiting here in the last 7 to 8 years that when this happens, it's going to be Euro 5, which is the highest quality of PMS you can find around the world. Can I readily put this in my car and begin to run?
Yes, you can put it in your car and begin to run. And it will actually save your engine. It will give your engine the best performance. It will not be the normal one. And you can even see our diesel. Our diesel is very light. It's like water, so which people have never ever seen before. But that is what you call Euro 5 diesel. Our diesel now is about is less than even 30 ppm, which is great. And we'll keep pushing. We'll get to 10 ppm.
Okay, so finally from me, I'm so excited to hold this, but it will be more interesting if we can drive this supply and distribution down into the countryside, down on the streets, into the cars, into the engines. I can see your gantry positions here, 177 tanks for storage, and beginning to wonder how soon can we have all these trucks crisscross the streets of Lagos and supply petroleum products.
Our gasoline can be, that is PMS, can be in filling stations in the next 48 hours, depending on NNPC.
Would you want to comment on pricing? How much would you sell per liter of this PMS?
On PMS, what I told you, it is an arrangement which was designed and approved by Federal Executive Council, led by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As soon as it is finalized, which he is pushing, once we finish with NNPC, it can be today, it can be tomorrow, we are ready to roll into the market.
Thank you for obliging me this. You told me you were catching a flight. Still 10 minutes into your time. Let me allow you go to wherever you want to go to right now. Thank you very much for obliging us your time.
Okay, thank you very much.
So there you have it. This is what we're talking about.
So there you have it from the president himself, that those products should be in circulation in about 48 hours. Of course, Nigerians will be counting down, but Olu Phillips did ask about the pricing there, and he said, I think there's an arrangement that the federal government is trying to do, because he said the Federal Executive Council, they're trying to work on something, and then we would get the price. But we're back here in the studio, I think the most important question that Olu asked there was, when can we expect this to hit town for people to be able to access it? I know they did say perhaps it's just the NNPC stations that will have it, but whichever way, although even now, let's have it, because even now it's the NNPC station that have been selling for a couple of days. So I guess the most important question there was, when can we expect this to start running in town? And he said about 48 hours.
Yeah, which is very good news. What this just tells us is that there will be, to an extent, an increase in supply of petrol across, especially at least starting off with even Lagos. We might likely see, this petrol scarcity start to, reduce in a couple of days and maybe weeks. Another thing to also consider, obviously, is the pricing. We obviously would expect that whatever arrangement that the FEC would have with Dangote would ensure that the price is cost reflective for him, and as well, maybe not too much or overbearing for Nigerians. Primarily, the goal here, I'm sure, for pricing would be to ensure that at least Dangote is able to make reasonable profits from all of the expenditure that he has made, considering the fact that a lot of the work that he's doing on the refinery was taking off with foreign currency loans. So
maybe I was expecting you to talk about subsidy, because already we know there's subsidies. So I don't think it should be about Dangote making its money. It would be more about how much subsidy the government will have to pay. Because already we have subsidy in existence. So
the reason why I didn't speak about that initially is because a lot of times it's good that we separate Dangote from what is happening with the subsidy regime in Nigeria, simply because this is a one-man business, right? And yes, he has, for lack of better word, someone like a patriotic role here to ensure that at least we're able to service, the local domestic demand, and then before beginning to export, which does make sense. Because there's huge markets for refined petroleum products here in Nigeria. But then again, you consider the fact that as a business on its own, it has to make profit, right? And then you look at what is happening with the subsidy regime in Nigeria and realize that we're supposed to have stopped paying subsidies, but we're still doing that.
On
so
paper.
Even if that conversation is going to be had, what this has to be is a subsidy regime that doesn't, again, cut away too much from the profit that Dangote has to make, and as well keeps prices not too expensive for consumers.
All right, Dumebi, thank you so much. I'm sure this is a conversation that is just starting.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about all of that later. Thank you so much.